people 4,000 years ago being black. It's kind of weird, but has he seen the brown-skinned spaceman?
The original Chinese were black?
Doesn't matter, look it up, you're not fucking black.
Mr. Hyde, are you goo?
Have you seen the catacombs of dead Romans? They put black faces on their dead. They put brown-skinned man.
Can we hear from something other than the UBT office? Like, this is boring. It's very boring.
I agree, it's boring.
No. I'm tired of these fucking failed mumble rappers coming onto Clubhouse to get attention and social media clout in your failed mumble rapping career. Like, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely
funny.
Welcome back.
What's really funny is you said that social media there's too many people with fake history, and then you go on with like the most ridiculous shit in the world.
I'll say this: 2 chains with no membrane. 2 chains with no membrane.
What's the fake part of what I said? Lola Girl is a real black West African.
No. The Romans and the Greeks were all white. And yes, everybody that was in Europe was white.
Dude, they were very so the Italians, the Romans were not fucking black, bro. They went to
Name a second one.
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People Wasting All Their Time on Clown House.
Cheddar Man's already been debunked, and the authors of that study, no, you fucking monkey. You monkey.
None of them look
Shut
like
your stupid black mouth. Jesus Christ.
2 chains with no...
Jesus Christ. Now,
Andrew, you're still here, impossible.
Admitted.
You need an audio recording. What do you mean you need an audio recording? Go to YouTube.
However, their genetic sequencing of that individual in particular showed that he had light skin. He was literally not black. They did it for,
they have
political correctness reasons.
Dark and pale skin. That's what you're being dishonest about.
No, but it showed that he had it. Yes, that was dormant. Yes, but that he would have had light skin.
80% chance.
Oh, you're such a no. That's not what they said.
That was the controversy years ago.
That was not the controversy, fucking monkey.
Welcome back to another episode of people wasting a fucking Monday night here on Clown House.
Okay, go ahead and let Dewey.
I just gotta ask, because I've heard you...
It's Cinco de Mayo. It is Cinco de Mayo.
Everybody get a tequila and a burrito tonight para la presidente.
I had a banana margarita just in honor of the black people.
God damn it! Dewey was asking a question. Let us get a...
I've heard you since you keep fixating on Cheddar Man. What is that? Dewey go?
Les, I have a question, because I've heard you kind of go on a similar rant. The only 2 times I've engaged with you, this has been like the crux of it. And my question is what does any of this say about you? It's very important to you. Because, again, to me, it feels like you need it to justify or validate your own experience or your own life. And I think that's weird, because these are people, you're talking about people from 4 or more thousand years ago. If they were black, even if I grant you all of the things you just said, it does not change anything about you or your worth or your value or the value of other people in the world. Like, none of that shit it doesn't matter what Bronze Age tribe I belong to. It really does not affect me or my self-worth at all.
Then why are you claiming black tribes that have nothing to do with white lineages?
I'm not. I'm me. I am me. I'm Dewey. That's what I say about me and my self-worth. What do you say about you? You need to claim
Dewey.
People from
Again, this is fake.
But it's weird. I think it betrays the chip on your shoulder. Is my point. When you go off on this, you sound like someone with a big chip on their shoulder that needs to be filled. And I'm fine filling with you. I'm fine. I'm actually fine going with what Pepe was saying earlier. I'm fine. Let me make this point. I'm fine granting you the Romans are black or whoever was black. If that's what you need, but it's not going to change the actual circumstances in the world right now or your life.
Take someone else's work. I'm defending my ancestors.
You didn't do that work. You didn't do that work. You don't get credit for it. That's my point. You don't get credit for that shit.
He said I was doing that work. He said I was bringing up all these dead lineages. Yeah, those are my lineages.
They're not yours.
not your people.
They're not, it's, look. That's the because it doesn't matter what people did 4,000 years ago. That does not say anything about you.
It does matter if it's part of my bloodline.
It's not your bloodline. Is the Congo.
Think about your life right now. What are your greatest accomplishments? What are your greatest? And if your greatest accomplishment is just being the progenitor, heritage from 4,000 years ago, that means you've accomplished nothing. All right. Now tell me what you've accomplished in your life. What you have accomplished. What you should be proud of. What are you proud of that you've done?
I've corrected world history on the public platform.
Oh my
Complaining on the internet.
Hold on. My wife is calling. I have a successful marriage. That's one thing I've done.
Tell me what you have done with all your stolen wealth.
Stolen wealth. That's a good, clean white man. Like, what are you talking about? Are anybody's catalytic converters safe around you? Like, this is crazy.
Hey man, there's too many white people on this stage.
Your modern inheritance is my stolen money.
White people.
Tell me what you have achieved. Where's the world peace? Where's the lack of starvation? Where's the end to all wars? Where's the cure for cancer? What's going on? What have you done with my money?
Yo, why do you hate the Congo so much? Why do you hate your
Dude, you never had. First of all, shut the fuck up, dude.
What's up? Why do you
What
hate
has
your
white
actual
civilization
Congo
done today for the world?
Listen, you fucking low IQ ape that's trying to larp as if your ancestors were worse than anything. Okay, no, I can.
I'm back.
You low life piece of shit. Okay, I understand. You hate your skin color. You have to assume the history of other people's in order to make yourself feel better. Like you are literally a fucking loser. You're a piece of shit. You're absolutely worthless.
You want me to answer?
Let him answer. He asked me the question. I answered it. I asked him a question.
I didn't hear. I don't know if you heard me, but I said my wife was calling, and again, that's a successful relationship, one of which I'm proud of, and it doesn't matter who my ancestors were. I can have that relationship. You have a successful relationship that brings you fulfillment in your life. I hope so.
Civilization done for the world right now.
No, I don't give a fuck about civil. I'm talking about people, you and me.
Right now, show me the successes. The world.
I don't think you understand.
I don't think you understood my point at all.
Lewis, okay, shut your monkey
point
mouth
was really
for a
clear
second.
to everybody.
Civilization's collapsing under your.
Yeah, monkey. I mean, Lewis, you're not understanding. Shut your monkey mouth. Shut your monkey mouth.
We love you, Dewey.
Monkey mouth. Okay, let me. Wow! You fucking ape! You unruly fucking ape! Shut up for 1 second. I'm asking you a question, okay?
Answer my question.
Shut your fucking mouth. He asked you the question first.
I already
There he goes. Look, this is the low impulse control I'm talking about. Okay, I just have to mute all. Like, this is so annoying. Okay, so this is the question, okay? This is the question. Okay, you as an individual. Oh, I guess you did answer it. You said you were spreading the truth online.
Correct. History.
This is your big accomplishment is coming on Clubhouse and talking about this shit? That's exactly my point. You need to fucking touch grass, dude. Fucking touch grass.
Propaganda needs to be countered. You haven't done that work either, so you're quite lazy.
You're confirming my point. This is your big accomplishment coming on Clubhouse.
He has 800 followers.
Then
800 followers.
Big 800. Oh my God,
800.
His mom must be proud.
Yes, 800 followers.
This is a cell phone right now. You're doing a cell phone.
My money and my power. How have you benefited if you
It's a banana Obama phone.
How have you benefited humanity with my money in your pocket? How have you done
What money, motherfucker? What the fuck is what are West Africans producing, you stupid fuck? We're not flying on your airplanes. We're not using your medicine. We're not driving your automobiles. In fact, the only thing that we're doing, you're asking what we're doing for you people? I mean, what happened when there was a fucking Ebola outbreak? Who's dropping off those fucking UN rice bags for you skinny diseased faggots to eat and not die?
No,
what the
he's
fuck are you
not
talking
there.
about?
He doesn't have Ebola. Don't fucking. This is the problem. He is not all black people.
Malaria,
Nor are the history of black people him.
Malaria, baby.
malaria? Why would we be giving malaria aid to people who are immune to it?
Went to the Congo. Go back to your people.
Africans have a genetic advantage against malaria. Why would you be giving malaria assistance to people who've already evolved beyond it?
I said Ebola, you goddamn dipshit.
What? Ebola is made in the World War II war. That's a United States military process.
Back to blaming the Jews. Back to blaming the Jews.
Ebola is a United States military bioweapon campaign project.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Well, we know that black guilt is over, but is white guilt really over?
We learned about both of them
Hello?
in college.
Hello? Is anybody there? Is anybody up there? Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
These are military documents that say who funds Ebola and Marburg virus in Central Africa right now. You can fly to these sites and go to these labs. They're still working with those products.
Is it
Why are you speaking in that voice? That's not how you speak.
Yeah, I hear a lot of tripping out over history and facts and context and classified documents.
It's not enough that we have a genetic.
Shake that ass for Donald Trump.
Yeah, so where are the benefits of you white people having my money in your bank account? Where's the benefit? Where's the cure for cancer? Where's the cure for diabetes? You guys haven't even fixed obesity. You guys literally have not fixed obesity right now. Ozempic has got you guys all tangled up in bullshit right now.
No, black women have not fixed obesity.
Rizzo?
No, black women have not fixed obesity. They continue to make excuses. They continue to make excuses and eat themselves into diabetes at an early grave. So again, black women have not fixed obesity. Thank you.
Correct. White corporations created obesity, and you white people have not.
So what are you doing as a black man? What are you doing as a black man to combat that?
When you say
Right. You're still fucking fat black women with bonnets and shower caps on their head in public. So again, at the end of the day, you are not doing your part. You're not doing your part.
SARS and all the other bullshit you guys are spreading with my goddamn money. Talk about you're making achievements of life. You've only created problems to the planet.
Well, and again, you're spreading around a bunch of loose bastards that you don't even pay child support for. The fuck are you talking about? Be quiet. Go wear your do-rag. Go wear your Adidas shower slippers, okay? And sit up in the house, sipping Hennessy all day, and taking out fake PPP loans, okay? Thank you.
The white government created the single mother
shut the
evidence since
fuck
the
up.
1970s in the
Like,
United
shut
States of
the
America.
fuck
That
up.
is official white
Shut
history.
the
Don't you know
fuck
your own
up.
white
You sound dumb. You literally sound dumb.
about the welfare state in the United States history.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna
Why don't you know what your
shut
parents did?
shut your fucking mouth. Okay,
Why?
is what I'm gonna do. Shut your fucking mouth.
Why doesn't he know what
I'm
history
gonna do.
though?
Shut your fucking mouth for a second. Okay? What I'm trying to do,
Why doesn't he know white history?
dude, what is your problem? Can you shut the fuck up so I'm literally trying to do an interview. Okay, this is going to the audience.
Man, what is your
Back to the okay, I'll let you up in a minute. Okay, once you can shut the fuck up. I mean, seriously, like, you are so goddamn obnoxious. That is crazy.
Ghetto, trashy, and cheap.
So, hold on a second. Why isn't my shit working?
We can hear you, Pepe.
Well, I was trying to do something. One second. There's an African folk song I wanted.
Ah, Savinia! Stop wearing a shower cap in public!
Also, change your fucking smoke detector battery. I'm tired of hearing that.
Exactly.
Like, how the fuck do you guys not hear that shit? It's crazy. It's really the human. It's like what the fuck? I don't understand. I hear that beep all the fucking time.
It's a circle of life. Everything is not racist. Stop wearing that shower cap in public.
All right, guys. I'm gonna play the song. This is dedicated to Luce. It's about what his people have, what the great Africans have contributed. Just want to play it for everybody to hear. So here we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoy this African singing.
If you smell something funny when you walk down the street, street, you're in Coontown. Up and down the street, there ain't nothing but trash. Nigger girls trying to get a nigger boy's cash. Then you even see a spook with a big mustache in Coontown. On the corner, there's a nigger with a drink in his hand. That's Coontown. Trying to form a nickel from whoever he can in Coontown. Don't be surprised, you can make a bet. If you go back tomorrow, he'll be there yet. He's trying to get drunk, and drunk he's gonna get in Coontown.
Love that song, so touching. I think this guy's from Zimbabwe, I'm not sure.
Yo, I'm dead. Like, I'm fucking dead. That song should have won a Grammy. I'm telling you. Put that man on the star of the Walk of Fame. I'm telling you. That's amazing.
He's apparently this guy was like some the fuck do you call it, Cajun guy. So he's like kind of Southern, but you know the Cajuns are just like a weird group in and of themselves.
That's fucking great. Yo, that's crazy.
It really wasn't that funny though.
Yo, Pepe, I want that. If I die before you, I want that song on my feet.
Oh wow.
Play it in between Ave Maria and Whitney Houston.
What did you say, Pepe?
You said you live in the South, right? Like Alabama?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. South. I've honestly never even been to the South.
We made sure that we turned this entire state red. I said we made sure that we turned this entire state red. I'm very proud to be in Pennsylvania. I'm very proud to be a Pennsylvanian.
That is good. Hi, Scarlett. Did you have something to chime in, ma'am?
Shiloh Hendrix Give Sing Go is almost 700,000.
Yes.
I mean, now, that is a victory right there. That is a victory.
I mean, I'm like, as funny as a lot of us think it is, like she's being white trash. We have to call a spade, but you know, it's kind of. I'm serious. I think like white people need to get like probably about 10 times more racist than they are towards black people, and then
100%.
I'm being dead serious. I think it's actually a
No, I'm being serious too. Like, white people are not being aggressive enough at this point. Like, they're really not.
And I think once black people see, they get to relive being, I don't know, like basically there's zero tolerance for their shit. They're not given allowed to use any excuses, and quite frankly, you know, they just need tough love. Like, really, that's how I think it is.
Yo, Pepe, like, it's crazy. Like, for the last 20 years, you know, black people have been singing Whitney Houston during The Bodyguard, you know, white people. And I will always blame you.
I mean, they do. It's just crazy.
So that is a link from a X post where this guy, and I think he's deleted it since he realized it was racist, is advocating that Shiloh's baby gets slapped, and that a Give Sing Go be set up to pay for the resulting criminal fees related to the abuse of an 18-month-old baby.
Well, he did worse than that. He said like bang his head around a bit and give him brain damage. That's where.
Oh, so you've seen it?
Yeah.
I went to his TikTok so I could leave a comment, and I couldn't find the video. I'm like, you've done messed up.
This is what I'm saying. It's just like you have black people who are just like, And I see black women saying like, the department don't speak, you call us niggas, is that you ain't swallowing your teeth. And it's just like amazing. You guys just go to this immediate violence. Like there's this one word that you, if it said you guys get to be as violent as you want and chimp out, and but you know, obviously we don't. No other group of people has a word like that, and it's like really, children, you have to grow up. I mean, if you call someone like a nigger at work or at school, you're gonna get fired. You're gonna get in trouble. You know, just like if I called my boss a dyke or a coworker a faggot, you know, I'm gonna lose my job. There's consequences. I mean, what more? I don't know. Like, what? Why do you need like this excuse to act like a subhuman, violent chimp?
The laws need to change, Pepe. Nobody should be able to excuse somebody for work for exercising their free speech. Sorry. Like, we have whistleblower statutes in many different states. So if people are calling shit out for what it is, they should not be excused from their occupation.
You really believe that?
So what if somebody just wanted to call you a predator just because they just felt like doing that? You're okay with that? Like, that's part of freedom of speech.
I'm sorry, what is your question?
If somebody, no, it's true. But if I say something that's, so let's say I call somebody a predator, and especially let's say it's like you're a business owner or something like that, like I can actually cause you harm, and that's defamation. If I basically call you a predator, you get sued the fuck out of.
Right.
I mean, we're not saying there's not consequences to your words, right? I mean, that's kind of angel what we're talking about, you know? It's like you are going to answer for what you said, but, you know, there's certain levels to this. I don't think toxic is the way to go.
I wholeheartedly agree that when it comes down to these particular racial slanders, there shouldn't really be consequences, you know, to the detriment of someone losing their livelihood. It's insulting. It literally can be a detriment to somebody's entire family structure, and that term, that word, that language doesn't serve any. No, you can't do that. The two are completely different. If someone's being called the N-word, there should be no consequence for it to that level.
Summer vibes.
But there comes this point where people feel like, okay, I could say what I want to say about who I want to say it to. And there shouldn't be any consequences because the freedom of speech is something that we all embrace as Americans. And, you know, that's just our constitutional right. No, because when you defame somebody and you put somebody down or create an image or make these statements that don't support anything, it's detrimental. It's harmful. It's not just harmful to that person, it's harmful to the person who's even putting that information out, because you never know how somebody's going to retaliate. Look at what happened. You have people who are retaliating with murder as a response to being called something and or having to be subjected to something. So I don't know. I think people's mental health is really the conversation that needs to be had. And I don't think we put a lot of light on that when it comes down to these type of conversations.
So wouldn't it be smart not to use it if the consequences are going to, you know, cost you very much?
You have people who want to exemplify what their rights are. And if the First Amendment says that you can have the freedom of speech, people don't want to have anybody set rules for what that means for them. And so that should be wholeheartedly respected. That should be something that we all want for ourselves.
But the reality is we do have certain stipulations, right? Like, you can't go to your job and call people the N-word, or else you're going to get fired. Don't companies have the right to ensure that their businesses and their workplaces are free from racism and discrimination?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the face of a company,
So where's the
I
free
think a
speech
company
allowed?
has the right to be able to set their own, like, you know, because honestly, if you're
So do you really have
offending a
free
whole group of,
speech?
yes, ma'am, but to a point. But also, companies also have, you know, the right to say, hey, there's certain things that we can't say because it might people might take it as it reflects the views of the entire company. You understand? So I think that if we're going to have that, for me, if I have my company, I'm not going to want people who are working there to be, offending people, calling each other the N-word, saying
Right.
women can't do, things like that.
Yeah, but you also don't have certain type of behavior either. Let's not just talk about the what is said, but let's also talk about people's actual behavior.
Of course, we don't want that behavior, but
in certain communities. In certain communities across this nation, there are people who inhabit certain behaviors. And it's not okay. If I'm a business owner and I choose not to hire a certain demographic of people, because in that demographic of people, there are certain behaviors that I deem to be detrimental, I'm not going to want that in my business. And I shouldn't be forced to have to be this colorful, diverse thing when it doesn't serve me. If I have to abide by the law when I'm setting up business, even in order to get my business structured, I have to abide by so many laws. I don't want anything to fuck with that. I don't want anything to fuck with my livelihood. I don't want anybody walking out and just feeling some type of way today and walking into my establishment and fucking up what I have done for myself.
So you don't believe that, like, if somebody has a business that doesn't want to employ black
Adam,
people...
don't say shit to me until you apologize to me.
Apologize for what?
Excuse you?
Apologize for what? Apologize for what? Like I said in the other room, I would be happy to send my attorney, your email. Thank you.
No, we're not doing this again. No, we're not doing this.
Hi, Pepe. I just am getting back and I realized the room was still
Accept my friend request.
I am.
Hi.
For what? You don't sound very friendly.
What?
Okay,
Angel?
guys, don't do
Angel
this.
is really cool.
Yeah, Angel's cool.
Yeah, Angel
Yeah,
seems cool.
no, I love
like
Angel.
I'm definitely for free speech for sure, but the reality is that we don't really have free speech, especially depending on the state that you're in.
I mean, you're free,
you
but you
don't
gotta
really
deal with
have
the consequences.
But that right, exactly, right? Like you have to deal with the consequences of the thing that you say, and there are consequences to everything, to the things that you do and to the things that you say.
Okay, so Shai, let me ask you a question. You don't think that if a person does not want to employ black people or any sense of minorities to be able to maintain equilibrium in their said business, you don't think that should be that person's right?
I do think that should be their right. You know why? Because once the public sees that this is how the business is run, more than likely, they're not going to have much of a business. And they're kind of cutting themselves off from possibly a great opportunity of having great employees that happen to be black.
Exactly.
So I mean, they're cutting themselves short if they decide to do that. And that's on them. Their business won't flourish. If you have a business that discriminates against a group of people, it's more than likely not going to flourish.
Right, but we're not talking about like the NBA and the NFL. Like, I'm talking about practical, essential businesses.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the NBA. I'm talking about in general, any company, any business that decides to discriminate against a certain group of people are cutting themselves short.
Well, I mean, like the Walmarts and the Targets and stuff are discriminating against, like, the government discriminates against American people. Their businesses are thriving.
Go ahead, Ann, speak on it.
But all of their businesses are thriving.
Right. How could you say that? How could you say that? That doesn't make any sense. Literally, we see discrimination in every facet of this nation. Like,
what doesn't make sense specifically?
What you said. Listen, repeat what you. I'm sorry. Let me help you. You repeat what you said, and I'll close my.
No. You came off your microphone and said that doesn't make any sense. What you said. Repeat to me what I said. That doesn't make any sense.
You said that it's going to be a detriment for the actual business that holds policies of discrimination or holds
possibly,
of discrimination. But again, that just doesn't make any sense. If I don't want like I said before, if I don't want a certain demographic of people being a part of my establishment and being a part of what I put my blood, sweat, and tears into. I should be able to have that right without being judged for the reason why I'm doing that.
That would be free. That would be freedom.
But that's not realistic. You're going to be judged for the reason why you decided not to hire.
To do so, though.
You can, but that's my point. You probably do have the freedom to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see fucking Dunkin' Donuts, in an uproar because they're only hiring fucking Indians.
Exactly.
Right? It is what it is.
Well, in Atlanta, they're hiring large black women at Dunkin' Donuts that like to wear shower caps to work.
Okay, but also
so maybe that's detrimental to their brand.
Hold on, wait. Let's have this conversation really quick, because there was a point in time where diversity and inclusion was something that was a part of businesses that you stepped into. Like,
yeah,
there had to be this element. There had to be this element of diversity and inclusion. Yep. You had to really framework. You had to go through your whole business plan that you set prior to this fucking weird shit. And you had to now make way for this diversity and inclusion. And you had to hire.
Right.
You were being forced to hire a certain demographic of people. That's problematic.
No, yeah, I'm not.
You had to be inclusive. Hold on, wait. You had to participate. The government forced you to participate in being inclusive.
But that was for white women the most. It wasn't for minorities.
If I don't want to include you, I shouldn't have to be forced. There shouldn't be all these policies and all these things that would put my business at harm if I didn't want to participate in that. But that's exactly what happened to the mass quantities.
But you're putting your business at harm.
You're putting your business at harm when you say, "Hey, I don't want to hire X."
Okay, but what's the threat? I'm sorry. So what's the threat to the business? Just get to your point. What's the threat to the business?
No. I'm gonna finish. Right. So. You are threatening your own business when you say, I don't want to hire X people because they don't work hard enough or they don't work hard.
Okay, so you're get to
what do
the
you mean?
threat.
Who cares?
Get to the threat. Who cares on why? You said because
the public
cares.
Get
to the threat. Who is going to put action into the threat? Who's going to put action into the threat? Those
what do you mean? The people who are not going to buy into your business. People who aren't going to buy into your business and their business fucking shut down. That's the problem. No, it's not. Now it's not. Wait a second. Now it's not. Wait a second. You know why? Because you couldn't wait a second. You couldn't wait a second. You're going your own business, and the public is the people. The public are the ones who make your business flourish. It's not you that's buying everything from your business, right? You're not going into your fucking clothing store and buying all the clothes there, right? It's not you.
That's all I did.
It's other people, the public.
Wait a second.
So once the public realizes, oh my God, this fucking bitch doesn't want to hire blacks or whites because of X reason. If that's made public, then yeah, you put your business at risk yourself. Mind you, I'm not even for DEI. I'm not for people saying, hey, you gotta hire X amount of blacks, X amount of whites, so that I don't agree with that. But you also are putting your business at risk. Hold on.
At risk for what? Who's gonna come and damage and destroy my business? Who? You keep on saying the public.
The people who are going into your business. The people who are going into your business and buying your product.
The public isn't going to commit an offense against my business. You sound stupid. You sound stupid. The public is gonna come and attack you.
Are you fucking dumb?
No, you're dumb. You actually not bringing your black people to a business.
The public is the one who puts money into your business.
Hey, you guys.
You sound stupid. You sound stupid.
Like how are you not fucking getting what I'm saying?
You guys both.
Because you sound stupid.
You're dumb.
Each other, but
you're a retarded dumb bitch. The fuck? I speak in layman's terms. I don't have a bunch of big words coming out of my mouth. You should be able to understand what I'm saying, you dumb cunt.
Yes.
I love
Good
that
job,
word.
Dr. Shaw. I don't
Not
like
to Angel, but I love that word.
That's word.
I think that you guys are both saying good points, but you guys are both essentially saying the same thing, but talking like you're purposely misunderstanding each other because you're saying like the same things. So like we all know that if you set your business to only, okay, if I had a business, any sort of business, I would say that only Christians were allowed to come into my business. Would that be okay? Because I totally would not want anybody that didn't believe in God in my business or working for me. How about that?
You said what? And I wasn't even listening.
I said if I opened up a business, I would only allow Christians to come into my business or to work for me. People that believed in God. Do you think people would have an issue with that?
Yeah, there's a chance that you're gonna offend the atheists, and the atheists are rise against your business. What if the majority of people? What if the majority of people that are living within range of your business are atheists? You're cutting yourself short.
I wouldn't.
A smart businessman or businesswoman is not gonna cut themselves short like that. They're gonna sell to anybody.
My business where atheists are, but like you get like, but I think that it would be my right to do so, and I think
it's your right. You have the right to do that. Well, technically you don't, but I mean, if you can do it without people noticing. Enough to where they protest against your company, then hey, do you? But again, that's not a smart business move.
Diabolical, but
it's not.
No, I'm saying
it's not a smart business move to not want to sell to everybody that you could. It's not.
I don't want anyone that doesn't believe in God near me.
I mean, hey. That
for real though. No, I'm being dead serious.
It's your business. You're gonna run your business the way you want.
Well, see, then you got your own God.
I'm being honest.
I know you are being honest. You're being sincere.
Yeah. Matt, do you want to hang out with anyone that's like does not believe in God? Essentially.
Probably your God or any God.
But Shy does have a point. You do want to have. If you're a smart business owner, you want to go for the greater.
Well, obviously, yes. Right. I'm just saying me personally, but we can do that. But she's right. Like if you only have like a certain demographic of people, yes, you're going to cut yourself short and you're not going to thrive as much as you could. You may be able to like be afloat, but
you might be fine. You might be fine.
But,
I could be wrong.
You could be making a lot more money if you opened it to everyone. You're right.
Right.
But
But if they could get away with it, you're okay with that, Shy, right? Like if they think enough money.
I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm not a business owner. None of my family are. Oh no. One of them is a business owner. As long as I'm not fucking discriminated against by him, I don't give a shit.
But don't you think
your business, if I walk into a business and they tell me, hey, we don't serve your kind here, I'm gonna fucking leave and put my money somewhere else that is more deserving. Which I'm not gonna be the only one doing that. There's going to be a multitude of people doing that. Not only the demographic of people that you're shunning from your business are going to say, fuck that, I'm going to put my money somewhere else. But once other demographics of people notice that discrimination happening, they might say the same thing. Hence, you're cutting yourself short.
Yeah, but I want to hold on.
Say something really quick.
One second. Yes, right. Because I have like this thought on my brain. So like, okay, so we know that during COVID, everyone was in quarantine and everyone had to shut down their businesses, right? But when Black Friday came around, mind you, we were all in quarantine during this time. When Black Friday came around, all of the Targets, the Walmarts, the Best Buys, all of those stores, all were open. All of those stores have always thrived. And do you know how many small businesses closed just during 2021? Do you know that just in the year 2021 to 2022, 450,000 small businesses closed? Okay, so these motherfuckers discriminate against Americans, the American people. But in the American people, what did they do? They didn't just. You want to spend your money like where it's appreciated. No, what we did was then we went and spent money and sent it to Amazon, China, where they fucking hate Americans too. So maybe Americans really, really enjoy it. Maybe we're all masochists and we enjoy the punishment, honestly, because we should be like shopping in Etsy or things like that if we're going to shop online. It's all American-made products, but no, we don't want to do that. So, like, I don't know, Shy. Like, if you think about it, all of these businesses that are thriving are all based on the government that fucking hates us. So. Everyone, make sure you go on Amazon tonight and just fucking order your ass off.
Angel, did you want to say something?
Yeah, Anne kind of just settled it. My vibe was high for a minute. I was gonna retaliate, but I just didn't want to.
You're fine.
But I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, you have people who are having to go through, I mean, some of the investors that I see, you know, they utilize the avenue of investing to kind of really build, you know, capital for themselves, kind of really build an opportunity for themselves, and they get ready to pave way to put down a solid foundation that can really embrace, you know, some good American, you know, earned business, right? Like earned income. And you have people who don't even have the understanding of what it means to put in the solid ethics, you know, like they don't really take or embrace that in their everyday lives. And
yeah,
they want to be able to walk into a company and just have a title. What the fuck? That confuses the shit out of me. And our government doesn't really support, you know, the backing of, hey, you know, you're putting us at risk. You're putting us at risk by forcing us to abide by these certain things that are going to put our company at a detriment. Do you remember during COVID, in and around after the time of George Floyd, do you know how many businesses were putting up the rainbow?
Yeah.
That kind of included the black and brown in there as well. And it was this stamp on their business that kind of, they felt like they had to put it there in order to protect their business, because if that didn't reflect as people were walking down the street, they were subjected to vandalism. Some of
the
those
woke Bob is what you're referring to, yeah.
Yeah, and it was an eye-opener, especially for new entrepreneurs like myself who are really trying to engage and really trying to use the footprint of networking and really building solid, like, that's how you build your fucking business. You don't go to the government for some special magic wand grant and buy all these fucking Chinese products and these fucking fake Louis Vuittons and Gucci and Pradas, and you fucking open up a storefront that doesn't even belong to you. You're renting the fucking shit out anyways. And so that pisses me off too. But let me not get too irate again. But it blew my mind. It just really blew my mind, because you had people who fell victim, American, good, hard-earned, working fucking Americans, tax-paying, investing into the D-zone Title I districts, having to fucking deal with the backlash. Talk about support, talk about anti-black, talk about, get the fuck out of here. Bye, Felicia.
Angel, the real Sam is not the Black Lives Matter.
She's talking. Shut.
What? The real Sam?
She wasn't.
She wasn't. No, she was.
I'm mad because Adam won't apologize to me. I'm sorry. I'm taking it out on everybody else.
I take it back. All right.
My bad. I'm sorry. It's me. I'm sorry. Adam won't fucking apologize. I'm pissed. I'm taking it out on everybody. You didn't deserve that, Felicia. I'm sorry.
I'm a cunt. Anyway.
You deserve that, Felicia.
I deserve your screaming. No, but do you understand what I'm trying to say though, Angel? Like the point I'm trying to make, at least.
Oh, absolutely. And please forgive me. I don't mean any offense. When I say this next statement, please don't take any offense.
Don't worry about it. Don't apologize.
It is an impoverished notion. It is so impoverished. It really, truly is. And I don't mean any offense towards you in particular, but when you have people who set a wholehearted belief in what you're saying, it's literally the problem. Like, people talk about how to get rid of, homelessness and the elements that kind of surround that.
Wait,
but we don't talk about the mindset.
You think I'm?
No, I didn't say. No, I heard. No, I clearly.
No,
and,
yeah,
and
I'm
I
not.
respectfully, and I heard you say that earlier, and I respectfully was trying to have the squabble with you, but we got loud. We did some some hood shit, right? Like we did what the community does best. They kind of run each other over with words and shit, and we didn't really get to making a point. So when we have these type of conversations, it's really important to embrace the reality that kind of comes with it. But I wanted to say that I just personally think that it's an impoverished notion. It doesn't feel any benefit to anybody anywhere, and that's the truth. And I don't mean to be offensive again.
What's wrong with DEI? Concrete. I'm about to explain DEI. The real angel, the real stamp, is not the Black Lives Matter flag or the tranny flag over your business, although I do understand what you're talking about. The real stamp is the MOB, WOB stamp, minority-owned business, female-owned business stamp that allows women and minorities to compete for contracts that normal other people do not get to compete for, which means they get to get higher profits based on the job description that is being called out in the contract. And that is just simple white racism against people of non-color, melanated free people. And it was such a crazy thing. I watched it happen for 10 years, and I looked at it. I said, these fucking crackers are ridiculous. They're not doing jack dick about this. They're just letting it happen and then kissing these people's boots. What the fuck is wrong with that?
They're pocketing off to the side of this as well. Let's not forget that. Let's not
say that again.
I said they're pocketing off to the side of this as well. Let's not forget that. Let's just try to be a bit realistic, right? If I have a demographic of Black women who are looking to establish business, right? Own and operate the business, and I grant them, right, this opportunity by putting them into spaces that they normally or typically would not get in because of the elements of where they're starting from, right? Like let's just put that fact on the table. It's where they're starting from. If I go ahead and I grant them a pass to this, do you think that there's no reward to the other side of that, Ricky?
I don't know. Are you saying like that I know there are certain businesses that are set up, they find someone who is a female or is minority, and they use them to incorporate that business at least 51% in that direction. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm also talking about on a political spectrum as well, because now you have these people who were, gifted this opportunity, feeling obligated now to participate in certain notions, certain topics, right? And all of this that's our social currency. Our social currency is far more powerful than our capital currency. Our social currency in America is pure richness. It's pure wealth. That is that old school, good old American wealth that other nations, they don't have, the inheritance of that like we do as Americans. And so this here, our social currency, is something that sometimes becomes, weaponized against us.
That's why we have 93% of a certain people group. Of a certain gender of a certain people group voting one direction because they think that is because of them, and it probably is. Probably is because.
Totally. Sorry to interrupt you. I thought I heard Adam propose to me. What did he say?
I haven't heard a reason why DEI is wrong. Can somebody explain why DEI is wrong?
Yeah. Because it's a distribution of wealth based on race that goes against white people or any other people, Asian people, even the Jews. Although I feel like they have enough, but we have to be fair here.
What's wrong with a distribution of wealth based on race? What's wrong with it?
It's gay and it's communist.
Wait, can we? Sorry, repeat that. Repeat that again.
So my first question was, what's wrong with DEI? And then Dr. Responsible
Why do you
responded
sound like
by
that
saying,
concrete?
Yeah, concrete.
Like a
It's like,
normal
it's like we don't know who you are.
this is my normal voice.
No,
I was pretending. I was really.
I thought it was. That's why I was like, yeah, repeat your shit, because he.
Really, I was
sounded
pretending
stupid.
to be a bombastic black guy for all this
Oh,
time.
no.
I'm really
This
a
is
white
the true
skinned
you.
This is
Oh
real
my
me.
God.
This is a real me.
I think
So
All right, no,
Dr.
seriously,
Responsible-
but ask your two questions seriously.
Thank you. So Dr. Responsible said that it's a race-based distribution of wealth. And so my response to that is, so what? What's the problem with that?
Okay, so
Wait,
why not have?
All right, you
Go
go ahead, then I'll give
No, go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead, and then I'll follow up.
I'll tell you why it's a problem. It wouldn't be a problem, let's say, I mean, I'm not talking about morally, but I'm saying in general terms of the way the world works, it wouldn't be a problem if your group of people, like black women in this case, or minority women in general, it wouldn't be a problem if you made up like a huge majority of the country, right? But it's a problem, and it's strange, and it doesn't make any sense because those people don't make up a majority of the country. They make up a standing minority of the country. So why would the evil Europeans pretending to be white, why would they go ahead and now disenfranchise themselves, mostly the poor people among them that they don't really think about, and give another group of people like access and unfair advantage over all the rest of the majority of the country? That's not the moral point, but that's the point that always sticks in my craw. Like, why would these white people do this?
Okay, can I go?
What's wrong? I haven't heard something wrong with it. Pontificating or, speculating or questioning why they would do it is pretty interesting. We could delve into those thoughts, but I just want to hear something that's wrong with doing it. Does anybody have an argument?
Okay, wait.
Okay, well,
Angel,
why
right
not?
before you go, one more quick thing. I'm sorry. This is what's wrong with it, right? Democrats brought this up, DEI type behavior. What's wrong with it is they tried to convince black people for over a decade that somehow the country cared about them above any other people group, knowing full well the entire time that they were going to abandon those black people, go full Mexican in 2025, and not get any of their needs taken care of. That's what's wrong about it. Go ahead.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Tomorrow's my birthday too. So cool. And anyways, so what's wrong with it is that it's not something that is gifted to some of the most well-needed individuals in this nation, right? Like some of those whose needs precede, black women in business. And it's not okay to kind of not acknowledge, those, look at our veterans, look at some of our veterans who are, they come back from, some lived experiences that will forever change their life, and we don't have something like this diversity and inclusion that, holds a true, thank you for your service, solitude, gratefulness for them. But we have people of color.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish. We have women of color who are coming to the forefront, and they're like, well, I deserve to have that. I deserve to have that because of the color of my skin.
So, Angel,
I'm sorry, that doesn't balance out with me.
Yeah,
it doesn't really. It doesn't stay.
I'm sorry, Angel, but you're wrong. Military veterans have preferential treatment, and it is even inquired on applications.
Why the fuck are you talking like that?
Are you a military
Yeah,
veteran?
but wait a second. I understand that.
This is weird.
that-
Why the
I
fuck
was
is
learning the
concrete
same
talking
too.
about
I
that?
thought it was crazy.
Listen,
Adam.
hold on, wait.
When you're
Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Hold on, wait.
Adam, we're trying to have a conversation, buddy. Can you just be cool?
The mic, you didn't have kidnapped the concrete, you alright?
Let's just be cool, please. Thank you.
What's going on with concrete?
So,
I'm a little faggot.
so Angel,
Hold on, wait. Let me finish what I'm saying. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
No, I think concrete has too much cum down his throat from chillism. Like, this is crazy.
guys, come on, please stop.
The fuck? This Steve Urkel pocket protector bullshit is just annoying. It's just annoying. It's fucking annoying.
They all took shots at concrete there.
Exactly. Send that monkey
Well,
to the
he
goo.
came up. He wanted the smoke.
He just be himself. He doesn't be some weird queer looking.
Well, tell him to stop fucking trans women.
Not Pink's in the house.
Not Pink Pill showing up in the.
Now we're all in trouble. Now we're all in trouble.
God.
What did we do? I promise.
Somebody is calling the manager. Somebody is calling the manager.
Oh, I am so not a Karen. You guys can, y'all, fuck y'all. I'm not a Karen. Stop it.
Somebody needs to call.
I actually will say that I saw this coming. I really did. I stay silent
Thank God.
on a lot of quote unquote black rooms because you guys know how they treat me in those rooms. You know, I'll be the voice of reason, level-headedness, like, why are we doing this? Why, and I get shouted down. I'm sure you've all heard.
Very, very well articulate. And again, they want to paint you as being some race traitor wearing a shower cap, screaming into the mic, and not attending to your children. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, this is just a natural byproduct of people just sick of your shit. I really discovered this to the point of it being internally cringe-worthy inside of me, where it literally starts a biological reaction. If you watch these body cam videos. The body cam videos will set you straight on anything a lot of these black folks say about racism and about the way I have seen a segment of black people behave online, the way in which they believe they can say and do and get away with anything, the way that children never experienced discrimination at all, maybe even existed their entire lives and never even been called the N-word in person, never had to get on the back of a bus, never had to drink out of a different water fountain, never knew anybody who was lynched, never knew anybody who's even been arrested. Okay, maybe not that last part. But they seem to have taken on all of the traumas of forefathers. I was born in 1973. Hell, I have more of a right to be mad. I'm Gen X. We don't give a fuck. But, I remember when stuff was kind of bad. These kids, like nothing has happened to you. You have no fucking idea what you are talking about. You have it better than any black person who has ever lived in the United States before it became the United States. Maybe there were a few black people who were slave owners and it was chilling, doing well, rich as fuck. But for the most part, the majority of us, best we've ever done. We are the wealthiest group of black people on the globe. That's a fact. Black Americans are the wealthiest. We can say we have our problems, but we are. We just had a black woman move to Africa and they want to take her big behind back here, big back behind here, because they ain't got no snacks in Ghana. The electricity goes out all the time. Scammers, people stealing from her. But I thought that if you moved to Africa, if you moved to Ghana, you'd all be singing Kumbaya. And that everything would be perfect and so much better. And your ass can't wait to get back here. This is where I say we've kind of let the fiction and the horror of the past be what young people are saying that they are experiencing today. And the fuck shit that I have seen on these body cam videos, and everybody's Charlie Kirk videos where he goes to colleges and these kids sound dumb. You know, they're at elite colleges and they're saying they're oppressed. And Charlie asked them a simple question: What is going on with you as a student that this white student or this Asian student, what are they doing differently to you than they're not doing to these other students? And they never have an answer. They have some sort of nebulous, amorphous, whatever thing. And here's what happens when you call everything racist. People get tired of it. The word loses its meaning. Now, does racism still exist? Oh, absolutely it does. But guess what? When you say that everything is racist, when you say a frown is a microaggression and that is racist against you, people get tired of your shit. When you act obnoxiously, you don't raise your kids. When they're out stealing, twerking at Lululemon, then people are going to start to have an impression about you. When you start putting black politicians in to fill certain spaces and they get arrested for corruption or for incompetence, then people are going to start to be looking at you and wondering what the fuck is going on. But I can't say that in the black rooms. So thank you for letting me vent.
And equating murder to a simple retaliation of bullying.
I had a question for the pink pill. So what you said, I don't want to even broach that subject, but you said that you had seen this. You saw this coming, right? Did you see specifically from the quote-unquote European American pretending to be white, did you see the Donald Trump administration coming for the second time? When you were looking at the situation for the last 10 to 12 years, right, and all the craziness that it didn't make any sense. Did you look up and say, like, what are these pathetic piece of shit white people doing? Like, what is wrong with them? Did you have that perspective?
I don't look at politicians as like, oh, this white politician or this black politician, only if they act in a way that is like, I don't know. I mean, I have my issues with Jasmine Crockett. You know, she's the only politician that I'm making note of, oh, black. Or if there's a politician who's been put in place for whatever reason that's politically expedient, go in and raid the coffers, do a bad job, hire their boyfriend so that he can also raid the coffers. And then I'm looking, yes. But I would say that this goes bigger than race, you guys. Like,
in what way?
I am not a conspiracy theorist at all. But listen, you can rule people better through division than you can unity. You can get everybody preoccupied with fighting everyone else. If you look up cultural Marxism, and if you look at what that doctrine and philosophy is meant to do, it is meant to overthrow the capitalist government by making an oppressed versus oppressor. But it's done with all of these micro groups. In the last 4 years before Trump, I saw tons of micro groups, and that's what I saw was getting insane, and I knew something was going to happen. So it wasn't just a black thing. It was, oh, you're skinny, you're privileged. So this is oppressed versus oppressor. Oh, because you're fat, skinny people are oppressing you.
Right.
Therefore, you have to fly first class and 2 seats in first class. You have people who, and I don't have any issues at all with LGBTQ people, but then you start coming after the kids, or if like you're getting mad at me because I get your pronouns wrong, you're insufferable. You're fucking insufferable. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing this game with you. So there was that. I mean, so there's all these micro divisions that progressives have really sort of fomented in the guise of empowering everybody, which is just a lie. All it does is create grievances with each of the so-called oppressed groups. And everybody is fighting everybody else, and nobody sees that we're being robbed blind. I'm sorry, but both parties fucking suck. And I'm not going to say I'm one or the other. One is less sucky than the other right now, but I remember when one party was more sucky than the other, and it wasn't the Democrats, it was the Republicans. I've lived long enough to see that you cannot hold a loyalty to one particular party. And the way in which in the last 4 years politics has become the replacement for religion makes my fucking brain explode. Like, everybody needs to calm the fuck down. I'm sorry.
So, Pink Hill, can I ask you a question? Do you feel like if your point, not you personally per se, but do you feel like if a specific group of people point the finger towards a certain division and a certain divisive narrative to call everybody else racist, do you feel like at some point they're going to become the monster themselves?
Well, that's what it's already happening. It was using, that's what happened. It's like people are using, you may laugh, but I go back to the body cam videos where I see people act like a plumb damn fool. You done sold $32,000 out of Target. It's in your cart right now. Everybody saw you steal, and you're in the back office, and you're talking about this is racist. You only picked up me because I'm a black woman. Like, that's the kind of stuff that pisses people off.
Man, you got a similar Facebook feed. You got a similar Twitter feed, I should say, to me, because all three of those videos, I saw the one of the black woman talking about getting out of Africa. That was an interesting video. I saw the one that you're just talking about, the woman stealing all that shit and saying that it was racist. Listen, this might be kind of me pushing on one particular aspect. I completely agree with you, by the way, about your assessment of the situation over the last 8 years. But what I really want to know is, you're one of the few people who said you saw this coming. I seen this coming since day one, not because I'm some genius, but because I can't understand. I think it's the white people's fault for being so pathetic, so willing to just go along with this narrative. I have to blame this on the white. We can't blame children for what children do. We have to blame the people who are, who are thinking. Hold on, I didn't interrupt you. We can't blame.
No, I'm disagreeing. I said yeah.
Okay, listen. And I'm not talking about all black people, because God knows I've met so many fucking amazing black people on this app and in real life growing up that I can't say that about all people. But like, if you're gonna force me to collectivize my thoughts, I really can't blame black people for believing that, hey, things are going to get better. You're going to be the winners now. You're going to be the one putting down the orders through these programs, and you're going to be the one getting special contracts. I can't blame them for kind of buying into that. I have to blame the pathetic, shitty, and evil and pussy bitch ass white people for pretending this long that was going to be what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the fact that they let these white liberal feminist women fucking lead the whites, okay? Now that's the problem. How do we allow that to happen these days?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. It's like the boomer liberals. And by the way, boomers are the reason we're in this mess.
No. The boomers are the best generation ever.
No. The boomers, honestly. Yeah, they were the ones. They are responsible. Like, you don't even understand. You don't even understand the stuff. First of all, and boomers have freaking colonized politics. Like, there are hardly any millennials at all. Gen X at all. It's just a bunch of boomers who have colonized politics for the last 40 years. Well, and everything they do is freaking selfish. Everything they do is to enrich themselves.
The biggest generation, as far as population goes, because in the past 2 years, a lot of boomers died. So the millennials are now the population.
No, we're not doing that. So again, Generation X created the internet, created all of its problems, ran away, and never took responsibility.
That's what.
No, I'm in an
But I
elevator.
would say the biggest problem is that the
That's
Gen
what they were
Xers gave
taught.
birth. But the Gen Xers gave birth to the Gen Zers.
No, Generation X not taking responsibility. Generation X and
We have listen. Generation X did not have nearly as much spending and buying power as boomers right now. You have the highest concentration of millionaires, and they're all freaking. Majority of them are boomers. Some of them worked at AutoZone when they were 17, and now they're millionaires because they just held on to their homes when they were reasonably priced.
Pinko, you don't agree that Generation X was handed wealth through a bunch of bullshit technology culture? That again, they created, ran away from the problem, and never corrected it. Never took any meaningful positions of power in government to actually regulate the same monster that they created.
The boomers were even when the internet came around. What are you talking about?
They were
Clinton listen.
Generation
Clinton,
X was
Bush,
raised by
all of
wolves.
those guys were boomers at the time who were in charge of putting all those regulations in place. You can't blame Gen X for this. I was barely getting out of college when the internet was a thing.
Because my generation, the millennials, we gave birth to the Generation Alpha, and I'm cool with that. I don't think that the people that are fucked up are the millennials or the Gen Alpha. I think the problem is the Gen Zers and their parents are the Gen Xers.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing on that because we started these ridiculous parenting styles that obviously are not working because the children are beastly. Of the hovering, the helicopter parenting, overscheduling kids. Combine that with technology, we have a bunch of socially retarded kids who are addicted to their screens, minimum 7 hours a day, who don't know how to talk to each other, who have no emotional regulation and can't critically think.
Somebody says no to a prom date, and all of a sudden they show up to the school with an AK-47.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
Hey,
what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up, man? This is Blake,
Hold on,
man.
Hold on, Balake.
Yes, ma'am. You want to go to war?
What you said is absolutely right, but here's where the problem lies, is why I have to blame the parents. Because why, as a millennial parent, my daughter does not have a fucking cell phone. She has an iPad. She does not have TikTok. She does not have Facebook. She does not have Instagram. She has kids Pinterest and kids YouTube, and that I monitor. She cannot upload any apps on her own. I mean, I don't allow it. When I see these Gen Zers, they are on TikTok. There's like 13-year-olds doing dances on TikTok. Absolutely fucking not. So then I have to say, what are the parents doing? Why would you allow your children to have access to all of these things? That's why.
Because the parents are too busy keeping up with the Kardashians. They're too busy keeping up with the Kardashians. That's exactly what it comes down to. And everybody wants their kid to be TikTok famous and all this other bullshit so that they can continue to be lazy, failed adults as parents themselves.
But let's go deeper on that statement, though. It's not just the fact that they're trying to keep up with the Kardashians and they're trying to live out their own lives, but they want to be able to have something to blame for their parental neglect. Right? They want to be able to blame TikTok. They want to be able to blame what their child watched. They want to be able to blame something other than themselves. That's the real reason.
Oh, that might have hurt. Ouch.
Well, everybody's complaining about this little kid that got called the N-word, which was horrible. But at the same time, what elements of a situation led up to those circumstances? Neglect. And nobody wants to have that conversation or say the quiet part out loud.
Well,
so again,
but that's
and yes, my statements were very hyperbolic. I was saying that the mother was probably sitting in her Hellcat or Nissan Altima in the parking lot with a bonnet on, or a shower cap and rolling a blunt, probably yelling on Clubhouse as opposed to supervising her child. And instead of listening to the message and the point that I was trying to create, people wanted to focus on the racial aspect of it. And it's disgusting. Racism and discussing the racial aspect of shit is not going to bail you out for lazy fucking parenting. It certainly isn't going to put, money towards a bail bondsman to, bail your kid out of jail when they graduate from going through people's diaper bags into walking through people's plate glass windows stealing color televisions in residential burglary.
Did we ever find out what happened? Like, was it maybe the mom that put the kid up to going and getting something out of the diaper bag?
I said that too.
We don't know.
I said that too, and I also offered up the explanation. Maybe that white mother was very upset and thinking that that child was putting a crack rock in her diaper bag. I mean, at the end of the day, people want to excuse a colloquialism of bad behavior as opposed to looking at why this happened.
But also, wait a second, hold on. I'm going to say this really quick, too.
I don't know who's talking. Oh, Angel, go ahead. I'll drop.
I wanted to say this, too. Let's just take that situation and let's just replay that really quick. What if that mother was so irate because in her bag was a prescribed medicine because she hasn't been feeling well in her life lately. She's been, on some medication for some health reasons. And maybe she didn't want to be responsible for a child sticking their hand in her bag and getting access to those pills. Maybe I'm not saying, anything, I'm just giving an example, right? We didn't even have the discussion of the parents with the autistic, they said he was autistic, with the little boy. We didn't even highlight the fact that they didn't even exercise any sort of control or managing an irate situation and having a skill in doing that in front of their child. That is important. Nobody ever on the other side of the community, they didn't even bring up these things. These elements are fundamental in regards to how this is going to play out in a legal spectrum, right? This is something that even society, I mean, gosh, if I knew there was something in my bag that I didn't want a child to get access to, people go, well, why would you bring it to a park? And, well, maybe it's something that I need. Maybe it's a medicine that I might need on the spot because I have health problems, right? I don't want to be responsible for someone else's kid going in my bag and, I'm just bringing my kids to the park because I'm trying to get a minute to myself. I just want to be able to sit on the freaking bench and watch my kids play for a minute because I've had a hell of a health day. I've struggled with cancer or I've struggled with something or what. We don't know what caused that woman to get as irate as she did, but the fact that it's solely, the lens on this is solely because she's racist is fucking crazy.
You know what's even crazier, Angel?
How long has it been since this, Adams? How long was it that this incident actually happened? How long?
Less than a week.
Okay, but think about this. Why haven't we gotten more information on it?
Exactly.
The media picks and chooses.
Yep.
They will put this story out and they'll fucking just leave us on a cliffhanger, trying to figure it out. There'll be 5 million conspiracy theories all over the internet flooding it.
Yeah.
By the time that the case actually does go to court, we will have forgotten about it because there will be something else that they have us looking at.
And it's because and this is why I asked the question, what is the half-life of a Samsung television? A lot of people don't want to say the quiet part out loud, okay? Somebody's overdue for a new TV, so they peddle this racial narrative so that they can reenact the Summer of Love. That's all this shit comes down to, and I'm tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. Sorry. I'm tired of it, okay? Yes. I'm willing to say the quiet part out loud because, again, nobody was trapped on a freeway for 8 hours while my neighborhood was being rioted and looted. When we're supposed to be in this pandemic, unprecedented times. These people are full of shit, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Hey, Adams, that's a good point. That's what I wanted to get to. I don't know who said it, but somebody has said it's the fault of, white people. And it's no, I take it a step further. It's not the fault of white people alone. It's the fault of adults from our generation, the kids who were raised in the 90s, who became adults in the 2000s, who watched the Twin Towers fall when we were in high school, who went off the Iraq war, did 2 tours there, saw friends and family die for a lie. And the overall message that we still didn't get when we found out that there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and when we found out how they played us during the 2008 economic crash by saying, fuck you, I'm not bailing you out. I'm going to bail out all of the major companies who made bad decisions, who got us here, and you're going to eat it up. Don't worry about it. We got a black president, so things are changing, right? oh, you don't like the black president, then you're racist. And then we move forward, and then we move forward to shit like this, examining, like, first off, we don't know what happened in the Trayvon Martin. But since we're all so fucking susceptible to marketing, we pick sides and jump on it and say, hey, this is what we're doing today. I'm black, you're white, he's wrong, you're right.
That stuff was out. That was actually the one that the whole hearing was public, and maybe people didn't watch it. But
absolutely. I know, and I'm talking about, and this is what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. I'm talking about the fact that, like, there was a time in the 90s, I remember growing up around OGs who had a motto, and this is including my grandmother. I ain't see shit. I don't know shit. I don't know what happened there. You get what I'm saying? We're gonna let the courts run that out.
Oh yeah, everyone minds their own business.
We exactly. Unless somebody's life directly you can affect is in the hand. You know, somebody's gonna die right in front of you. You intervene, right? Common sense. But here's the deal. I've watched black women save young white boys from getting ran over and vice versa. I had a white man save my life. So we come from a different time. But then when the OJ trial happened and I was a kid, that was our first strike at how we're susceptible to the adults, how we are susceptible to marketing. Buy Diet Pepsi, buy Diet Coke. Oh yeah, this dude clearly killed this white woman and we're going to celebrate him being free. Why? Because black. That's why. Well, people don't understand the ramifications of what America had told the world at that point in time. They said, fuck all of the hard work we did to get here. Because just a few decades prior to OJ stabbing the shit out of that poor woman and that man, we were hosing each other down. White people was, Jim Crow, all of the weird shit. We had assassinations, all kind of crazy shit going on, and we made it past that. It was still like a wound, but every step of the way, the media and the politicians want to dig into that wound, and we say, hell yeah, dig it. Because why? I'm black. Why? I'm white. That's been the problem the whole fucking time. Every opportunity we had to take it to their ass, we stuck it to each other, and that's why we're here right now.
So, Blake, let me ask you a question. Do you remember that woman that threw that pot at that cop?
Yes, I do remember that case. I don't remember everything.
Do you remember how much I was dragged on this app for using my optical abilities to see that woman throw that pot at that cop? And all of a sudden, because it's a black woman, all of a sudden, nobody wanted to see her reach over her head and hurl that pot of hot water over that cop. And then they said, he's justified in being, faced with third-degree burns or permanently disfigured because he should not have utilized an equal amount of force to defend himself.
Yeah, dude, I remember that, and I used to tell people all the time, go look at scorched fucking victims. Go look at scorched victims. They look like fucking mutants. It literally will melt the skin off of your face. I'm shooting the bitch. I'm sorry, bro.
Blake, let me take it one step further. My former employer has to pay out $50 million in a lawsuit because a person escaped from a regress door in memory care, ended up being outside and having third-degree burns, died 10 days later in the hospital. Died 10 days later. So it's crazy to me.
Yeah. Hey, let's get to it, Adam.
For Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's stick to the case at hand. So this is what I meant by we have the opportunity to have a real conversation. And in that conversation, we say, fuck that. Let's stick it to each other. The real issue of that conversation was, why the fuck was that cop in her house in the first place? And I know people are going to say she had a call. But what
she invited them in.
Is the problem we had. I know, but listen, the problem we had with authorities overstepping the boundaries is an issue. I've seen it with my own two eyes. It's not a black and white thing. It's a Fourth Amendment thing. It's a thing where they come to your house, they knock on your door, and when you open the door, Yeah. I'm not saying that this one is. I'm just saying this is part of the.
But Blake, is that a racial specific issue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that a racial specific
No, it is
issue?
definitely not because it is not. It's not. Just I'm gonna give you an example. In the summer of 2020, right before George Floyd, I kept saying all the beginning of the pandemic since March all the way up until George Floyd, they kept running these local worthy stories, like stories that you would hear on your local news. They kept pushing that shit national because of one element: black person dead, white person at hand. And it was like they went to this one story about the lady who got shot with a no-knock warrant. They blasted that shit all over the U.S., but skip the fact that just a month prior to that, a white person had that same exact scenario and he's dead too. And they didn't give a fuck about it. And it's like, look, dude, this ain't a black or white thing. This is about motherfuckers. The overall point. If the Fourth Amendment is to protect all Americans, then it includes blacks. So if the issue you're worrying about is that they overstep that boundary a little more with blacks, then you would want an overall pressure on enforcing the Fourth Amendment, period.
Exactly.
Meaning, no knock warrant my ass. Fuck you. Go get a warrant and we can talk.
But that's why we've been going back in particular coming over to that side of the equation, right? Because they're looking at it and they're like, yeah, I kind of want to get upset because of the racial training that's been served up to me by my education system and the media. I really want to get upset, but I also think like, hey, maybe that cop shouldn't have even been at that person's house fucking with them in the first place. That's why we are making strides, but we're never going to make strides with black women. We need to leave them behind as a collective people group. And I know it's harder for you to do that because those are your women. I'm just saying I can't waste any more time trying to move them to the side.
I don't understand what you're saying because again, at the end of the day, my mother was not a black woman, and my dad is not currently married to a black woman. So at the end of the day, okay, I'm looking at the fact that again, you have a segment of the population that for some reason wants to ignore any sense of objectivity and just replacing it with, well, I can get away with it because I'm black. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, those are women of the melanated persuasion in today's and I'm please because we're talking about systemic things. I hate collectivism. I don't think that if I meet a black woman that she's going to be just like. In fact, I met a great woman, black woman, yesterday in the black barbershop that I go to. And she was fantastic. She supported her man. She stood behind him. She was grateful. She was a fantastic woman. I'm not talking about individuals, but this personage group in a collective level is lost. It's going to take them another decade to figure out what black men have figured out over the last 2 or 3 years. And so I'm just saying I'm not going to win more political time on them because they're shot. Okay?
Yeah. The problem is not just it's not the black women alone. It's the I'm not trying to say anything about women, but it's the feminization of logical conversation. We will appeal because, like I said, we are susceptible to marketing. And what has been marketed to our generation, the guys who were born in the 80s, raised in the 90s and the early 2000s, we ran a female-centric ideology and outlook and philosophy on life. Do things to please not the woman in her needs. Do things to please and appeal to her vanity. That's the reason why people accepted shitty cars that don't have, that are not going to last you, but they look good, goddammit. You know what I mean? And in these same car companies, all of the 3 American car companies fucking failed in 2008, and the government bailed them out because there were so many men willing to buy these items to appeal to women's vanity. Over and over again, all of the shows we watched were teaching messages were like, don't be a man about it. Be more of a sensitive new age man, because your thinking is
be a bitch about it.
Be a bitch about it. And I'm not talking about no chauvinist type shit. If anybody want to, like, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, being able to call a spade a spade.
Well, let me ask you this, Blake. Was that around the time that it became, and I'm trying to figure out when this became, acceptable, to wear a shower cap to the fucking airport? Like, it's crazy to me how we've literally brought our standards to the ground. Are black fathers not sitting there watching your daughter walk out the house and wearing a fucking shower cap in public and not taking pause and saying maybe I should correct my parenting strategy?
I think there's not enough of them to deal with that problem.
Like, what fathers? I mean, we have the most disjointed family situations. I mean, most of the kids are born out of wedlock.
But Pink Pill, are you not understanding my grievance? Here it is that you're asking for a segment of Black America to be taken seriously, and you have young women twerking on top of Altimas and wearing shower caps in public.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, to my horror. Like, I teach something totally different, and I can tell you that these new crop of women do not want to hear about how to be a lady. They don't want to be. Like, they actively oppose it. They encourage each other. They you go girl each other. Just like a couple weeks ago when you had two women engaging in a pro-choice, life debate, and the woman who was on the losing end decided that she wanted to punch the girl out because she lost the argument.
Nice.
You had a bunch. I got a screenshot because it went on my Instagram feed. Another Black woman was basically saying people are gonna learn not to mess with folks, and I'm just like, wait a minute, that's not how that happened. They were having a 20-minute conversation. She lost the argument, got mad, and slapped her twice. And there was just a bunch of Black women who were co-signing it and were happy about it. She got money. I mean, she still ended up losing her job and going to jail. And all these dumb broads who were girling her have now since moved on to something else.
But that's the problem, Angel. That is the biggest, if I could say, right, I'm just a consultant to the Black community, European pretending to be white, right? But I my whole life around Black people, and as a consultant, to me, that is the biggest problem, right? It is not the behavior, although that is a problem, right? And they will realize the folly of their ways when they're 42 and childless and unhappy like the rest of their peers. But the problem is the co-signing of these women, just completely co-signing and defending at all costs, whether they have anything to do with reality or not. The co-signing to me is the problem, because that is what perpetuates this type of animalism, this nonsense, that if they had men around them that were doing their job, this would be slapped down in an instant. But because it's just them, and they're the ones ruling the roost and ruling the society in that segment, they go and they think this is just fun. And the standing up for the bullshit hoe behavior, that is the problem in my opinion.
But don't you think that's kind of like the problem? So, like with this Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf stuff, is you have, and this is what annoys me, is people, like the Black side, for example, immediately goes, oh, it's self-defense, nope, it was justified. And it's just like, how the fuck do you know that? I mean, it could be, and we'll find out in trial, and we've only heard good things about both of the boys' character. We haven't heard anything bad about either of them, or any history of problems with them. So I really, I can't make a judgment. Did it circumstantially, like, yeah, that sounds kind of insane. He stabbed him in the chest, but I try to be impartial, but kind of like how you're saying how they stick up for each other no matter what, no matter how like egregious the behavior is. I mean, that's basically this whole thing with this white trash woman. You know, she called a kid a slur on a playground. I mean, yeah, like what other time would like white people care to stand up for her? We'd just be like, oh, okay, you dumb bitch, you dug your own grave.
But you know what, Pepe? At least I've seen a lot of white people call out the bad behavior. So they simultaneously say, yes, white people are sick of your shit. We are all sick of your shit. But at the same time, this is not the way. This is not what we want to do. We're going to be just as bad as the left if we do this. And just imagine if you get financially rewarded for doing violence. Like, do you see how this perpetuates? Nobody's going to win in this. It's going to be a complete insane, like, the thought of people making money by behaving badly because throngs of people will give them money. Like, do you guys understand what that will look like?
I mean, I have to be.
What I have seen is white people saying, yes, both things are true, that this is not the way, and nobody should be giving money to this woman like this, but at the same time, yeah, we are sick of your shit. And this basically turned cancel culture on its head, because now you have somebody on the other side who progressives, that's who does this, tried to find her and ruin her life. And the backlash was now the woman has raised even more money than the Carmelo Anthony family. And I don't think that the people who wanted to make her famous banked on that happening. But I don't necessarily think that this is a good idea. This should be scary for anybody. So you mean to tell me I can go out and do some fuck shit and there'll be throngs of people on the internet who are going to give me hundreds of thousands of dollars? Do we really want to live in that world?
I would say this, and I know it sounds like it'll sound like mean or like sociopathic, but I think it's a good thing. I actually think, first of all, I do think that they're like white people in general have to really start being a lot more racist towards black people, and I think all races need to be a lot more racist towards black people, because they're the only group that's really they can underperform and they can misbehave and they can do bad stuff, and then they can immediately go to the default of racism, where nobody else really has that luxury, and it makes holding them accountable.
But listen, I don't know if being racist is the right word, but holding them accountable for reality is probably a better one. Like, I don't want anybody calling me names because they see me and I'm black.
No, I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean it in that way.
And I don't think it's racist to tell somebody that they're behaving badly. I don't think it's racist to say that we're 13%, but 60% of the criminal problem. Like, I don't think it's racist to say that 1 in 3 black men are felons, or that the majority of black women aren't married and they're having kids out of wedlock. These are the truth. That's not racist. I just think people need to start telling black people the truth, and that should be enough.
Well, I mean, I can appreciate that, and that could be a better solution. I don't know, but it's like when you get people who, like, you can try to talk, like, especially black people, that you can try to talk to them about this stuff, and then immediately they just go to being insulting, threatening, and of course they all booty clap for each other, and they'll, and this is like a real problem. You probably have observed it in some of the bigger black rooms, is that it does become, I would say the collective IQ in the room is rather like low. And one of the hardest problems is that it's like if you were arguing in a 6th grade classroom, and I'm not saying they're as smart as 6th graders, but like if you were to have a debate with them, you would have to win them over, but are they actually able to understand the ideas being expressed? And
have you tried goldfish and candy canes?
And it's just kind of like one of the 6th graders will probably say, like, you're fat, and then the rest of them will laugh, and then it's just like the argument is won. It's kind of like you get a lot of this same stuff. You get
a lot of impoverished commentary, right? And it's definitely the main reason on why a lot of the communications around these topics don't really even initiate or even get anywhere close to solution-based, you know.
Because you're still calling it impoverished. It's not impoverished. It's lack of culture. Oh, God.
I don't think. Okay, I live in Michigan, and I go downtown to Detroit like twice a week. I go downtown, whether it be for a Tiger game, whether it be for a concert.
You're going to the casino. Yeah, okay.
Well, everything is downtown, essentially. So, like, I'm always down there. I have never, I'm 41, I've been going downtown Detroit my whole life. I have never once ever heard the rhetoric that is spewed on Clubhouse. It's like, there is, like, real life reality, like flesh, and then there's this online culture, and I'm telling you that, like, I've never experienced, I'm being serious, I've never experienced any sort of racism, any sort of, like, black-white fighting in Detroit, like, when I interact with black people all the time. Never, ever have I ever experienced any discrimination towards me, nor have I, like, I've not witnessed it with other people doing it. I don't, like, there's real life, and then there's the online shit, and, like, separating the two, people are having a hard time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, if other people have different experiences, I just don't see it in my everyday.
Well,
I can agree with that.
I think, like, I don't, in real life, I mean, most white people don't say this stuff. I mean, it's like, I don't know, like, different jobs I've had is, like, are you going to meet people that have, like, maybe similar opinions as me? Like, sure, but you'd have to feel them out. Like, and I've used this as an example. Like, if I was, like, let's say at the gym, and there's, like, I don't know, 20, 30 all white people of all ages, and I was just to say, like, oh, can you believe that fucking nigger on the basketball court? What a monkey. And then, you know, like you can rest assured there's going to be at least one or two or maybe more say, whoa, language, whoa, don't speak like that. Yeah, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're saying the way that you talk.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Is different than the way you talk in real life. Like, I don't talk like you, so, like, I don't talk like that at all.
I don't talk like that.
White people don't even talk like that in real life at all, in my experience, either. 1 out of 50, maybe.
Correct. I don't have any friends that talk like any of the white folks that I hear on this app. I don't know about you, in terms of, like, the racial stuff, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
I might say a nigger rig once in a while, like when somebody like fuck something up.
It's just split here and there, but I'm just saying, like, full blown.
Yeah, but I'm not calling people that word or anything like that.
No, but, like, when you guys came on Clubhouse, like, hearing, like, this racial divide, like, have you ever heard this shit in real life? Like,
oh yeah, I grew up with it.
And I've never heard of the fucking delineation in my entire.
It's wild.
In my entire life, I've never heard of the delineation, but I remember when that campaign was set out against me. I remember the energy that came with that here on this application. And Standing 10 was one of the best responses that you could.
You always have to do it with black people. So
exactly, because when you do
if they say, Pepe, I heard you called a black woman an N-word bitch, and I'd be like, yeah, I did, and they're like, oh, he's standing on his tent. I was like, I don't understand you fucking people.
Pepe, I remember you were one of the people who I had gotten pinged into your room because they were like, Angel, you started this shit. Now everybody's saying.
It's your
I remember I got pinged into your room, and I hear you popping off. I hear you going to the wall, to hell, through the windows. I hear you crashing out, and I was dying, and I was laughing hysterically because there was nothing behind what you were saying, right? There was no tone of authenticity.
Angel, was this like White America? Was this that White America? So check this out. Did you ever find it interesting that the stage in White America would be all black people?
95%.
Can anybody make sense of that? That would be the audience.
It's because they wanted. That's like
exactly.
Wait, so Pepe, wasn't
analyze that.
Wasn't Tally modded up in those spaces?
Yeah, I would mod her because she was
Okay. So Matt, did you not hear her call me a liar the other day when I called her out on that?
Yeah. Wait. She said, maybe I misheard it, but she said she wasn't a mod on there? Or
Yeah.
part of it?
I would mod her up, but there's a lot of, even like trolls, like he's kind of funny. He's racist too, but what's the fuck is his name? God damn, the one that was talking to, does he know how like Amber Rose was like in my rooms all the time? But you know how Amber Rose was like always in my rooms, like kind of towards the end when I was still making them.
Oh my gosh, you were her safe space. Go ahead.
And it was I'm trying to think of his name. Ish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ish. He got his start in my room.
Awesome, man. His shtick, like
he's funny though.
He's really fucking
There's a
funny.
couple.
He's actually really smart.
There's a couple that got
very
started in White America.
He's really
like literally nobody would know about, but nobody would know about that if it wasn't their start in White America.
That's a fact, Matt.
Yeah.
Ish is an amazing human being. I love his jailhouse stories. He made a booth out of a paper towel holder instead of a toilet paper holder in prison. And the way he described it was fucking so hysterical. I will always respect that man. He is a king of the first order.
But you see, that was the weird thing, is he totally, like, I think he's still racist towards white people, which I didn't care.
Definitely.
I wasn't trying to, I don't change people's mind.
Absolutely he is.
I don't try to convince that's never been my thing, to convince black people not to be racist towards us or to not hate us. It's like, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to tell me how to feel, so I'm not going to do it to you. But
wait a second.
we do kind of, like, you can, like, you do... I mean, you can still like have like a bond with people that are racist and enjoy each other's
in real
company.
life, like Ann said, in real life, being in the presence of Ish and like everyone in that space, like I'm pretty sure there would have been this solid mutual respect in real life,
100%.
right? Like, and so that is something, again, like those realities are important. Those realities are what we need to utilize when we have media reportings like the ones that we've witnessed so far. I remember during COVID there was this whole media stream of the Karen, right? I don't know when that was introduced. Do you guys remember that? The Karen. Yeah, and so this was, well, you're right, but it highlighted during COVID. But I remember there was this whole like campaign of people going out and like intentionally looking for Karens so that they can post like on their social media and shit, and then like call in and make reports about these Karens and shit, and how people would like report their calls that they were making to these managers, and there was this whole shit about it. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, in real life, like off the internet, this wouldn't really happen. You wouldn't really have black women having that response. You wouldn't really have white women having this response. Like it was total bullshit. It was complete and total bullshit.
Yeah,
and
again, it's like people still aren't, and I find myself like catching myself like people are still living in COVID life, where they're not like going back to like, some people did go back out to like normal life how they lived before, but there's still people that are living in the COVID, like stuck in their house, not going out and things like that and doing that.
And are you delusional? What year are you in right now?
What do you mean? You haven't been in here.
I've been going out for years. I've never met a delusional COVID person still here.
Did you remove him? Did you remove him?
You've been playing the fucking congos on your belly, Mr. Big Rex or whatever. You've been playing the conga drum on your belly naked with a fucking hot of your head.
What are you talking about, you nigger white? Who are you talking about? What Congo? I'm not from no Congo.
Are you okay?
Oh.
He wasn't
I'm sorry, I thought I just heard
He
Edmund.
was talking to Edmund. He wasn't talking to you, fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Somebody just said my name.
Quiet. I don't want to. We have a monkey trainer here.
You know what I thought was,
You're guilty of that.
what I thought was funny is like the first room I made, at least on this app, because I came from Discord, and then like it was like whiteness and everything beautiful about what he like whiteness or some stupid shit like that. And then like it was like on a night, it was at night, and then Sid came in, and I was like, yeah, do you want to like moderate too? He's like, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden, all of these black people start pulling in, and then it's just like I had like 150 people within. It was like literally under 10 minutes, and then they're like, what you mean? What you mean by this title? And then, you know, and at that point, I was feeling the app out. I was only in, a lot of the rooms are black. So I'd go in them and they'd do things like I could be talking and then like a black woman would like start talking and be like, hey, if you hear that black queen speak, shut your mouth. And I'd be like, oh, okay, wow, fucking rude.
Yeah.
And they would do this shit all the time. And so I was literally just like, I just like, I remember that night.
You went off when you started calling women all these fucking names. I was dead in there. I was dead in the group. I was dying laughing because Epic became this fucking imaginary racist, and they went hard. I remember they would create memes with
my quick time is great.
That was the weird thing is I would get like 2 or 3 like spin-off rooms at the same time, and they all had a bunch of people in them.
Here we.
Oh yeah, no.
Say hi to.
I was a terrorist.
Were you not Angel? Oh my god. Yeah, Angel. Yeah, me and Angel used to not be friendly because she was playing these spin-off rooms on me, and I never did anything wrong. You guys were fucking fuckers.
They all spill over into Anne's rooms. After
No, the easiest, and I would mod rooms together, and he was like, obviously, like he would always do rooms that like provoking black people, but there would be like a room of 1,500 people back when the clubhouse was huge, 1,500 people, and all like if anybody in the room had any like grievances, they would be messaging me. So I'd be doing the back channel stuff to try to like set up the like put out the fires. And Atheist would just gaslight them all.
Oh yeah,
and
this is the
before you
most
know
I've
it,
ever
we would shut down the room
weighed in
and
my
you'd hear
life
how, like,
actually.
the room would,
PTR,
like,
compare these two. At least it's in the ballpark.
and, like,
Yeah, there's nothing of me that shows my.
How did you get? That's a very similar.
Let me see if I can find something else. Yeah, I don't take a whole lot of pictures. Yeah, no, that doesn't really show my.
Hey, did I ever guys tell you my story of Jeff Goldblum?
No.
All right, I'm gonna be a little bit like, you know, mysterious because I don't want to give too many details. But I was working, and this girl had just arrived from California to New York. She didn't know shit about anything. She was super hot, and probably like 21 or something, 20 years old. And I'm pretty sure I had it in the bag. And Jeff Goldblum essentially just outmanned me because I was maybe like 23 or 24, and just like literally like in the movies where he just interrupted me as though I was a nothing.
Oh my god!
And got all of her attention.
Cots.
What a jerk!
Hey.
Literally outmanned by
first they steal your land, then they steal your women. Am I right?
He was wearing a leather jacket and smelled like.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the perfect. But
that was right before he went gray, like where I used to coloring his hair. He used to eat at this diner near where I lived.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Would you used to go to Mel's Diner? So what you're saying is Jeff Goldblum made, even to this day, still makes you feel self-conscious.
Well, he smelled like shit, so I don't think he hooked up with her or anything.
Oh yeah. So
it was really.
he smelled like shit. He still got her.
Or he took it away from you.
He was wearing a black leather jacket, and it was very hot. It just smelled like body odor.
Oh. What do you mean hot? Like he's attractive too, Diego?
Was it like on set or something, like under film lights or what?
Look, Diego, I appreciate it. I do. Because I know I look like him. If you're trying to say that, he looks very good in a leather jacket, and I would too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where the Matrix or is he?
I think David probably.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, here's one you probably can't tell. Luigi's. It's logisticals. Oh, logistic. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's me on my PTR.
Alright, now I'm sure. I thought at first you might have been like British Hoddle making a voice in a different account.
What?
No. Yeah, my face doesn't match my voice, doesn't.
Yeah, you have like a similar accent a little bit.
You've got good bones.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I wish my niece understood that.
We can hear you.
Wait,
now.
what happened?
How would you classify qualitatively Islam's treatment of young women? Generally.
I mean, we consider them as an amana, as a trust. So, I mean, I don't understand the specific question you're asking. Could you rephrase that exactly? I'm not.
My Nura, who's in this room, has told me about her love of Islam, but she says it's her Islam. But she says that the people around her who also practice a type of Islam have mistreated her in the most vile ways.
Yeah, that's corrupt people, man. Just because people do something that's fucked up or corrupt doesn't mean it's a religious endorsement. I'll give you an example, right? Because you look at a lot of people that claim to be.
I don't think they're corrupt people. I think that they have a misunderstanding, and they've been fed certain things from generation to generation. And then
I would still consider that as being corrupt.
No. And then couple that with occupation and like all of the loss that comes with the occupation. For example, you lose connection to your history, you lose connection to your land, you lose connection to your family through a death in prison. You sometimes lose your entire home. Sometimes your entire home is demolished. So when you're living in these psychological conditions and then you come to another country and you're trying your best to maintain your daughters because you're worried that your daughters are going to be corrupted, then sometimes it's done in
they don't have that same standard for their sons. That's the problem.
No. And then my brothers had a difficult life too, and a lot of other people. And then couple that with different socioeconomic issues that happens. Like for example, the fact that we were poorer than some of our family, there was an ability to discipline us from outside or discipline me from outside of my family that wouldn't have been acceptable for the daughters of the men that were disciplining me or attempting to discipline me when I was just like a good girl that was just a quiet girl in school, never had a boyfriend, didn't even shake hands with guys in school, was very devout to my religion as a child. But I think I do think we have to look at what's going on and then just look at this app and how the Muslims and the Arabs behave on this app. There's something that is fundamentally wrong about how we have accepted Islam. And I would have rejected Islam a long time ago had I believed that the Islam around me is Islam, because
It's disgusting, and I have cursed. I don't say this arrogantly, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I've said I have a confessing soul. I have cursed many figures in Islam before.
Like witchcraft, or like you talk negatively?
No,
witchcraft.
No, come on. Like I have said F-U-C-K.
Oh, being serious.
No, I've said like fuck your God, like I've said stuff.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You are a potty mouth.
Diego, but I'm working on my mouth. I try not to.
Well, yeah, it's kind of known. I mean, you used to go off on me, and then I got to the point where that one time I went off on you because I got sick and tired of it. I didn't cuss her out or anything, but I definitely chewed you out.
Wow, what an amazing arc and journey from this morning to now. Just 10 hours later, and you guys have really come around. It's just amazing the kind of self-growth and work that you're all doing on this app. Amazing breakthrough, Princessia. Great work.
I mean, if I were you, man, I wouldn't be the one talking.
Well, this is the guy that you want to work with, right? Edmonds?
What was that, Dr. Lujiz Tickles?
Oh, you guys not hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, is this for the...
Oh, God,
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's got to be Abby. Abby, one of these has to be your burner account, right?
So the point here, though, is...
I've got a little, comedian I've got. unless, of course, she's sitting here recording this for YouTube again.
Here we go. Oh, no, that's what Edmund's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 2 hours into this amazing discovery room tonight. Where art thou? What an amazing journey it's been. I feel fully aligned, as if you guys are doing such incredible work here. I really can't thank you enough for all the great content, the incredible analysis, hello?
No, you're not.
Can you hear me?
No, you're not. He's just going on some.
Sorry, Lou. I know you don't have anything interesting to say, so I'm just going to continue talking. The point is, I just want to let you all know that I can't thank you enough for the 2-hour film contribution.
When you want to go after him, just let me know. I'll bring him back up.
Wait, is everybody in the Matrix right
No.
now?
No. He's just going on a. He's just going on some sort of narcissistic brain rot rant.
It's what he does. It's what he does.
What is the point, Diego?
This guy, I don't know who this guy is, but he's saying that you've tapped into your animus, your masculine side, and you've chewed him out to the point where one time he had to retaliate.
I don't remember. I just remember him constantly messaging me and me not responding.
When I came in, he was. When I was listening to the conversation, he was. He and some other people were dogpiling you, which I didn't appreciate.
You going to Israel next year? When are you going to go
That's
to June?
the first strike I have against him. Since I already know that Nola isn't exactly in the most well state of mind.
That's not very nice.
But it's not meant to be an insult. That's not the point.
I'm in a great state of mind. Well.
Yes, the hesitation is what I'm referring.
There's no hesitation.
And the point is that they were sitting in a pig.
I love ice skating. I'm really good. It will make you like.
¡Feliz del 5 de mayo! ¡El partido aquí en hora! Muchos tacos y burritos y una grande horchata.
What's this idiot?
Your team, right?
Una grande horchata. 10 horchatas.
tell you.
They kicked me.
See, Diego, you're just picking on me now.
No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. But the point here is.
The point is, there is no point, Diego. You're a moron. A moron.
I'm concerned that you have a selective memory.
Yeah, I'm working on it. That's why I've been working on memorizing it on.
I don't know that you can fix it. I mean, I know, like, my experience with women is that